Hello YouTube, and today we return to the Dark Goddess series that we started with Lady Tiamat. For our second Lady of Shadows today, we are going with the requested Skylla. According to the booklet that I have with my cards, she represents drama in a mostly negative light. Find that you turn anything that happens in your life into a soap opera about only you and no one else, then this lady is here to tell you that this may not be the way you should wish to go about your daily life. However, Skylla herself is not actually a goddess. At least that's what I have been able to gather about her from several sources that I have looked up. She is firstly mentioned in Homer's The Odyssey as a terrible sea creature who controls a span of water opposite a whirlpool that is also a monster, and in some sources her sister, named Chavdis. Please, I apologise if I butcher any Greek names. I am terrible with language. She is supposedly the less dangerous of the two, inhabiting the rocks in this strait of water, where she can be avoided if you stay close to them but move swiftly with your boat. Sadly, those in the Odyssey do not listen, and while they are distracted by Chavdis, Skylla grabs 6 of them and devours them whole. So what are we to make of this? Is she just a siren with a slightly more fearsome reputation, or is she just completely being misrepresented as an angry goddess? Well, this all actually depends on which story you are reading. There are several authors in ancient Greece that have lots of differing things to say, and as always, this often conflicts with each other about the god, goddess, monster, creature in question. For starters, there are several conflicting accounts of who Skylla's parents actually are. In Homer's The Odyssey, she is the daughter of Keto, sometimes called Croteus, which will become important later, and her god brother Phorcys, I believe. Keto is the goddess of the dangers of the sea, meaning storms, lack of wind, and other misfortunes that can be attributed to sailing or sailors. Basically, if you fall off the edge of a boat, this goddess is the one who caused it, and she was prayed to in hopes that she would stop this kind of thing from happening, or cursed if it did happen. Phorcys is considered to be a primordial sea god, and so with these parents, it would kind of make a good amount of sense that they were her parents, if that makes any sense. Through these two, this brother and sister union, Skylla's family is composed of the Echidna, which is a sea dragon, the Graeae, I believe that's how you say it, 3 sisters whom shared one eye between the lot of them and are sometimes mixed up with the Fates, dependent on which story you listen to or read. Ladon, a serpent with 100 heads, so technically 100 Ladons. And finally, the Gorgons, which again is very interesting. This is a fairly monstrous family tree, but doesn't always tie together in the stories of those other beings themselves, so we can't actually 100% be sure if this is the case. There is even some confusion as to maybe the goddess Hecate, goddess of witchcraft and magic, could be her mother. You see, the name Croteus is apparently sometimes used as another local form of Hecate. So, as you see, it was important later. Scholars cannot seem to agree if this is actually the case or if the two goddesses are actually different beings in their own right. On this front, I can't actually seem to find 2 pagans who agreed either, so I would like to point out that I didn't look hugely well. Please feel free to get in contact if you have an opinion on this, about the name or anything else to do with this. I always love to hear back from you guys. Also, if Hecate is her mother, then maybe her father is Apollo, which is quite scary if you think about it. Now, Homer writes of her as a monstrous creature, a being with a crab's shell, 6 necks, and 3 rows of teeth on each head, with a voice that sounds like a dog yowling. With a description like that, I'm not 100% sure how any of the sailors got more distracted by a giant whirlpool than this. I'd be much more interested in the possibly nasty sea monster sitting on a rock screaming at me like a wounded dog. But hey, maybe that's just my paranoia showing. However, another ancient Greek writer known as Ovid wrote something very different about Our Lady Skylla. Before she became a terrible sea nasty that apparently loves drama, and I still don't get that connection, Oracle deck, but hey, you do you. She was a sweet, innocent, and above all, beautiful young thing. Have you ever noticed that in Greek mythology, being beautiful is a horrible curse? Yes. She had many young men who wished to wed her, but she didn't like any of them in return, so she fled to the sea where she met the sea nymphs, who she told of her troubles. They were enamoured of her and she of them, so they got her to stay. While she was with them, she met an old sea god named Glaucus, I think, who fell in love with her instantly and decided that he wanted her hand in marriage. Scared of a god chasing her in such a way, she fled. So the upset god goes to the goddess Circe and begs her to help him. Upset that the guy that she has a crush on is crushing on another girl, she brews a poisonous potion and gives it to the girl, turning her into a monster and giving her the hunger for fleshy sailor types. Eventually, her death is apparently brought about by Hercules, or Heracles, whichever one you choose to call it as. But this seems to be more of a by-note in her history than anything else. An interesting lady, Skylla has had many representations throughout history. Sometimes she is a wronged woman, angry at the world for what's been done to her, and other times she is a hateful monster doing nothing more than what monsters do. No doubt that this is an interesting goddess, or if not goddess, creature of mythology, that you may wish to look more into. I hope that you've enjoyed this slightly longer video than last time. There is a bit more out there about vengeful Greek sea goddesses than a Babylonian goddess of the world, which is a bit weird. But I hope that you will join me for the next goddess in the series. Not sure who that will be yet, so I will see you next time. Take care, have fun, and goodbye.